Oh, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Health Talk. I am Peter Christian. Starts with a C, and that rhymes with stands for cold. So, about during the holidays is when I start my annual sojourn to St. Pat's to say, "Give me some antibiotics" or something. So, John King's over there. Good morning, John. And in the studio we have Sandi Willig and Leslie Kaldor. Now, you guys are both nurses, right?
We certainly are.
Okay, so when you run across somebody like me, who has been hacking, can't sleep at night, because, I have to sit up straight because if I lay back, I'll start coughing. So what do you tell somebody like that? Stay home, get rest. What's that?
Rest.
Well, go ahead.
Stay home, get some rest, water and ibuprofen.
Chicken noodle soup. Wash your hands.
Really? That's it? There's no magic formula?
No magic.
Time.
Wow.
7 to 10 days, they say, right?
Yep.
Well, I'll see you, John. In a week to 10 days, I'll just go take my break and leave you all forlorn and alone. But anyway, the reason we're not here to talk about me, we're here to talk about you guys. Would you mind just telling me a little bit about yourself? Sandi, you first.
Well, I'm an RN. I have my master's in healthcare administration, and I manage the home-based program and the occupational health clinic at St. Pat's.
Okay. How about you? Go ahead, Leslie?
I am an LPN for 25 years.
Wow.
I have been working for the last 3 with Sandi and the home-based program, which is St. Patrick Hospital's health and wellness program. What we do is give people a little bit of advice on how to stay healthy or how to get healthier.
Well, you guys have both used a term, which I'll bet a lot of folks haven't heard before, and that's called home base program. So who wants to tackle what home base is? So we want you with you first. So this time, Leslie, you get to go first. What's the home base program?
Home base is the wellness program for St. Patrick Hospital. What we do is teach.
Now, is this primarily for folks who work at St. Pat's?
It is. It's for the employees,
Okay.
but Sandi has actually added occupational health to her list of things that she does. And so we're working on working with the public as well, some of the clients that we have through occupational health.
Okay, so tell me about that experience.
Well, we're hopefully going to be rolling that out the first part of the year, but with the employees, we work with both the employees and their dependents. So we do some annual screening, and we're able to identify those that have some risk factors and do some outreach, and the care coordinators work with their providers to help patients set some goals and look at what they're going to do to improve their health.
Now, you would think that a hospital would be the perfect place to have a program like this because you guys are right there in-house, and it's a healthcare facility. So now what about other places around Missoula? Will they have the opportunity to use this same type of program? Are you going to be reaching out to them? How's that going to work?
We'll do some outreach to the current employer clients that we have now. And offer them basically what we're doing with our employees there in the hospital. So we'll look at doing some annual screening. We'll offer some walking programs, some classes, different seminars. We do a lot of health challenges, which employees really seem to enjoy, get some incentives.
I have to ask you, okay, because I've been working in radio for probably as long as both of you have been alive combined. But anyway, so if somebody was to come up to me in my workplace and say, "Hey, Peter, we've noticed that you're really sick. We've noticed that you're not walking enough. You're not walking enough. We want to get you on a walking." And I'm going, what? Why? Can't I just do my job? How does that work? Do people like volunteer for this, or is this something that you guys say, "Hey, we're all going to do this because we want to stay healthy and happy," right?
Some do. The care coordinators are really good at kind of getting people motivated. Again, the incentives, that's always, we all like to win something.
Let's hear the incentives.
Yes, well, they vary. I think the last one we did, we had an
iPad?
A Fitbit.
The Fitbit
We did a
that goes
Fitbit.
with your iPhone.
So you could be really hip.
Yeah, so everybody kind of, if they're doing certain things, they get points for those, and at the end of the challenge, whoever's got the most points wins. And
so, what do you get points for doing? This is charging me up here because I want to get points and get well. So what do I
See,
do?
I just found out that you are also eligible for my program. We'll talk about that later.
Wow.
That's what happens when you tell people who your family members are.
Ah.
So, having said that, we do walking programs, just exercises. We teach people some of the ways that they can learn how to eat better.
John's laughing. John's laughing.
Because we saw your break room.
Well, no.
Yeah, right.
This is my bag. Chips Ahoy,
Oh, goodness.
Cheetos, healthy food.
Health food, yeah. I see you came prepared.
That at one time actually had real ingredients in them long ago. But so now, no, but in things like that, seriously, you actually help people, transform their diets, exercise programs, right?
Yep. We help them make small changes, small lifestyle changes, and teach them how to. What the best way to start is by journaling, so that people can see their daily habits and how maybe they can change them, small steps at a time.
Maybe one fewer Chips Ahoy.
One more salad.
One
maybe.
more salad, yeah. Okay, can I crumble up my Chips Ahoy in the salad?
If
maybe?
you want.
For a crouton, yeah.
Tell you what, I want to ask you about some of the common questions that people ask you guys about as far as how this program goes. When we come back from our break, if you have a question for Sandy or Leslie, give us a call, 721-1290. We'll be back with more of Health Talk in just a moment. Hey, we're back. This is Health Talk, sponsored by Providence Health and Services, Western Montana. Our guests in studio, Sandy Willig and Leslie Kaldor. We're talking about basically something that goes on in the hospital, just to try to help people stay healthy. So what are some of the common questions that people come to you with to say, okay, now that I'm really into this program, I have specific questions about such and such and so and so. What do you think, Sandy?
I would say probably the main question that we get asked from both our employees and the employers that have actually come to me asking if we're offering some sort of a program like this is, how do we make our employees healthier when they're on a limited income, limited budget? They're busy, they get home, they've got kids to run around and things to do, and macaroni and cheese and some corn dogs are just easy, and it's
right on.
Cheap, and some Chips Ahoy with it.
Yes.
A few Cheetos.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. So I think that's probably the biggest thing is,
you guys
how
are
do we
coming
do
around.
it? Yeah.
Sorry.
And that's where usually send Leslie after him, and she's usually the one to get him pointed in the right direction after that.
Now, what about weight loss programs? Is that something people come to you and say, hey, this is so exciting because now I'm working at a hospital. I feel I'm a little overweight. Maybe I have a sedentary job. What can I do to help myself lose weight, right?
Well, there's probably about 4 or 5 items that you want to work on. First thing you need to do probably is start a journal so that you know exactly what you're eating. People don't realize maybe grabbing a cookie here and there that it is actually part of their diet. So if you start a journal, after about a week you can kind of see what type of food you're eating and what maybe you need to cut out.
And you would look at my journal and say, congratulations, Peter, you're dead.
Actually, it's your journal for you to look at.
Right, yeah.
It's the small changes in moderation. Nothing happens quickly, of course.
So no, it says here that there are 5 key things that you guys want to focus on today. So what are those 5 key things?
Well, the first one is starting the journal.
Okay.
And writing down everything that you eat, what time you eat, what you're drinking, how much exercise.
Now this isn't meant to be intrusive. This is meant to be for your own empowerment, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because the journal provides you with a good visual aid and helps people decide what changes they need. Some people need to discuss it with their physician primarily, but
Okay.
Really the key is knowing what you put in will help you know what you need, where you need to make your changes.
Okay, and what else? What are of the 5 things that we need to know about? That's one, right?
Oh, yep. That'd be the first one. And once you've got that journal done, like Leslie said, you can kind of figure out kind of where you're going wrong. I'm eating cookies all day long. And then you start setting some small goals, and you want to make sure that those goals are achievable. You don't want to say, oh, I'm going to cut cookies out forever. You want to say, looks like my journal, I'm eating 3 cookies at breakfast. So maybe I'll scratch those 3 cookies and I'll have yogurt or
an
have
orange or something.
Something, yeah. Something
something
small.
that actually came from nature.
Right. And maybe instead of doing it 7 days a week, maybe you're going to do it 4 days a week or 3 days a week. I mean, you want to make sure, you don't want to go back every week and look back at your journal and go, gosh, I ate cookies for breakfast every day still. So you want them to be reachable.
Yeah,
So.
something you can achieve and then be be proud of.
Yes.
Baby steps. And there is no bad food. It's just moderation.
Okay.
And if you maybe start having a salad once or twice a week with dinner, start by having a salad once or twice a week with dinner, and then maybe progress to 3 times a week. It takes about 30 days to make anything a habit.
Well, they say 21 days is what it takes to form a really good habit pattern. So how do you help the folks where you work get those 21 days going?
Meet with them. Usually we meet with people once a week to begin with, or whatever works in their schedule, and then eventually go to once every 2 weeks or whatever their needs are.
Okay.
And so you meet with them the first time, ask them to journal, and then the next time you meet, you find out what they're doing, what changes they've made, and maybe make a few small more changes. And
Now, I'm assuming, because you guys have been doing this for a long time, you're very diplomatic, right? Because how are you doing? Well, I did this and this. Well, let's go after it.
we cheerlead.
So you're encouragers, right?
Yeah, and we tell people, the one thing that's nice about a diet is you can make a mistake, or you go to a Christmas party and you eat a little bit different that day. You kind of plan, well, tomorrow I'm going to a Christmas party, so maybe I'll use that as one of my days that I eat a little bit more.
And I'll just use the invisible ink on my journal that day.
Yeah.
No. What about exercise? Let's talk about that, because along with diet, the 2 pillars basically are diet and exercise, right?
Right. And, the big thing is walking. You can run, or you can lift weights, or you can do whatever you want. But as long as you walk, we like to encourage people 10 minutes, 3 or 4 times a day.
Well, if you've ever been in St. Patrick Hospital, it's a big place.
You can get your walking time in.
Yeah, just
Definitely.
just by basically doing your job.
To walk the stairs instead of using elevators.
Park in the North 40 and instead of right out in front of the building. I mean,
Now,
same with the parking lot.
What's the North 40?
At St. Pat's, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Yes, our employee parking lots are a ways away. But even for, other employers, for their employees, if they're a mall employee, park way out in the corner lot and walk in, like Leslie said, take the stairs instead of the elevator. And sometimes it's easier to get those things in than work out at the gym.
How important is it to incentivize all this for employees? Because, we're kind of greedy capitalistic folks, we want stuff. And even though this is good for us, we want to have some sort of, tangible reward we can take home from it, right?
And we do offer small incentives, especially with the challenges. We offer incentives to keep people going through the 4 weeks or 6 weeks. But the biggest incentive is just that people start to notice. They start to feel better. They realize what the good eating habits, what the changes happen, and how it slims you down and makes you feel better. The biggest thing is you just notice when you make these small lifestyle changes.
All of a sudden, I'm not huffing and puffing after 1 flight of stairs, maybe 2 flights of stairs.
Right.
But, so we're going to take a little break. Come right back. We have more to talk about here. If you have any questions or comments, give us a call at 721-1290. Hey, we're back on Health Talk. 721-1290 is our number. John King's over there. I'm Peter Christian, and this is perfect because I just came down with a nasty cold, and I've got 2 wonderful nurses here telling me, go home, put a compress on your head, get some aspirin, drink a lot of water, and don't come back to work for at least 10 days.
There you go.
I
Yes.
love you guys. All right, John, say, no. Okay, let's talk about the healthcare industry for a moment. We were kind of talking about this during one of the breaks. Is that the healthcare industry, because you're around sick people all the time, sometimes you have a tendency to get ill, or, perhaps because it's a high-stress job in many ways. Sometimes there could be smoking, your lack of exercise becomes sedentary. Is there a lot of smoking still by healthcare professionals, or is it now become frowned upon by the community itself?
Well, they don't walk around smoking in the hospital like they used to. I remember that years ago in the doctor's lounge. And no, I would say, we do survey our employees annually to try to get tobacco usage. And I'm not sure that people are always real honest about it, because certainly it is frowned upon.
Yeah,
and for healthcare workers, but I think even in the community as a whole, it's really frowned down.
Well, especially, there's a sign, you cannot smoke within,
Mm-hmm.
start out being 10 feet of the door, and then it's 20 feet, and now
Right.
it's 50 feet, and now it's 6.5 miles. You're not allowed to smoke. So
Right.
the whole idea is trying to get the message across.
Right.
We don't want you to smoke.
Right, and we do. Like I said, we're pretty positive that it's pretty underreported. So we still make sure that we're doing some marketing to let our employees and their spouses know that we do offer different programs. We have a variety of programs that we can offer where they're in a group setting, but if they don't want everybody else to know, they
Sure.
can do something on their own. They can do it online. They can do it one-on-one with somebody. They can work with the home-based care coordinators. So we try to give people options.
Now, how do you help family members? Because even though the person may be a healthcare professional and they kind of know their business,
Mm-hmm.
but there may be sons or daughters or wives or husbands or brothers or sisters that do have problems in this area. Is that something that you can address?
We meet with them.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do.
Do you
They're
really?
included. Yep, they're included in the program. So as I mentioned earlier, we do annual screening. And it's something we've always offered to our employees. So they're able to come in. We do height, weight, blood pressure, calculate their BMI. We also draw labs to get a full lipid panel. Based on those results, then the care coordinators actually do some outreach. And it's employees and spouses. Some years it's actually required as part of the health insurance, their incentive.
Sure.
Other years it's not. But then we get all of that data, and that's when the care coordinators are able to reach out to folks. And we have a pretty good percentage of the people that the care coordinators work actively with that are actually spouses.
I'll bet that you probably could tell us stories of somebody who thought everything was hunky-dory, came in and had a screening and discovered something that they didn't even know they had, and they're, blessing you all over the place because, I got this screening for my health insurance, but now I have a chance to get this, nip it in the bud and take care of it, right?
Right. I have the funniest story. It was actually a spouse of an employee who his wife was actually a nurse, and he really thought he was eating well. He wasn't overweight. For the most part, most of his labs were pretty good, but having worked with him, he doesn't get a lot of sleep. He's on the go, pretty stressed all the time. And he thought he was doing so well, and we started kind of talking about food labels and had him working with the dietitian, but he thought when he was going to the store and he's buying tamales that he was doing good because it's corn.
Yeah.
And he was so proud of himself. But it's funny because he kind of did the big 360 now. I mean, he's really in there looking at labels and
Now, do you guys also, when you do dietary stuff, do you talk about processed foods and that
Absolutely.
sort of thing? Okay.
And one of the biggest things we do is we're able to refer them to a dietitian. So we kind of work on the short term, how to change your lifestyle, but we let the dietitians and the nutritionalists work on, the real meat.
Well,
if
yeah,
someone,
because actually setting up a diet for somebody that is perfect for their lifestyle, their age, their activity level, things like that, right? So
Right.
that is a really cool program, and so I'm thinking Town Square Media. And let's get on the stick here. So is that something that you guys are sending out to other businesses in the community?
we will be. That's one thing that I do plan on rolling out to some of our clients through the occupational health clinic that I manage. So probably the first quarter we'll start doing some outreach to some of the employers that we're already working with.
What will that look like? I mean, when you reach out to, say, business B that's down the street from St. Pat's.
Probably pretty similar to what we do with Missoula. You'd be surprised as you talk to a lot of the employers. A lot of them are starting to look at having healthy employees really does affect your bottom line. People aren't calling in sick. They're not using their health benefits quite so much. They're more productive at work.
And I would imagine that there are health insurance, companies that say, "Hey, if you implement this type of program, we will actually lower your rates."
There are some, and some I think they do, and it's a big thing for employers right now. I mean, that's really the focus. And so, like I said, I've had several clients already come to me. Do you guys have anything like this? And it's like, well, we'll be rolling it out. So.
in the meantime, we do have a couple programs that we're going to begin.
Real quick, we have 1 minute. Go.
Okay. On January 12th, we're going to do a Walk with Ease program. And all that is just a walking program. It can be done independently or it can be done with us as a group. And that is open to the public starting January 12th.
So
and we're going to meet at the hospital.
Is it just walk around the hospital?
It's walk around anywhere.
Oh,
If you
okay.
want to walk up and down your stairs, it's a self-done program
Cool.
sponsored by the Arthritis Foundation. So it's even for people that have, pain from arthritis and so forth.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So give us some contact information on how we get in touch with you guys to find out more. What do we do?
Well, you can call the clinic and ask for either Sandy or Leslie. The clinic's number is 329-5746, or email for those of we're all pretty techie lately. So that's homebase@stpatrick.org.
Thank you both for being here, and thank you for putting up with me. I really appreciate it. I'm a little bit delirious today, but it's great. Thanks so much for joining us.
It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
That's going to do it for Health Talk. We'll be back with Rob. Welcome. It's the Monday edition of Talk Back, the 1 hour edition, brought to you by the Mustard Seed Asian Cafe in Southgate Mall, Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville, Dickett Excavating, where they bring 30 years of excellence to every job. Call 214-4292. Missoula Nissan Hyundai. Drive what you want affordably. Stop by and discover how Hyundai has America's best warranty. Locally owned Office Solutions and Services. Download their Office Shopper app for purchases, barcode scanning, and to search for products. Transport Equipment, your headquarters for RV service, maintenance, and repair, and a great place to take your commercial vehicle as well. Over on Inspiration Drive, call 541-9097. And by Bulls Eyewear, it's where Peter gets his eyeglasses. They offer some of the lowest prices in town on contact lenses. See Lynette at 2910 South Reserve.